a team of 7. So it's important, Commissioner, that the judges of the Supreme Court should embrace collegiality. You can have contrary views. Collegiality does not mean that all the judgments must be by unanimous decision. But even when you are disagreeing, you also respect those of contrary views, and without any finger pointing or shouting at each other, so that tomorrow, I've seen, like in the Supreme Court, I've seen one judge, like I've seen in the case of Rai, Justice Ibrahim dissenting. I've seen in another case, Justice Njoki and Ojwang dissenting. So I've seen Justice Lenaola dissenting, but so long as there is that collegiality, tomorrow will be called in another case and we have to handle it. So it's quite important.
Thank you, Judge. And how would you then balance in maintaining that collegiality on the one hand and the decisional independence of you as a judge of that court? How would you balance those two concepts?
Thank you, Commissioner. The balancing comes in many aspects. First and foremost, don't have a fixed mind that I've read the file and this is my position. If you say that, and the other 6 also say that, whose position will be paramount. So there is that need of giving way and relooking into your position, also relooking into each other's positions, so that by the end of the day, you also understand where the others stand. Then that independence, because there is that aspect of not being influenced by colleagues, so that you can be independent. That's why now the dissenting opinion comes in when you think that, to me, this matter, the legal position, I've read other jurisdiction, I've read the past decision, maybe from the High Court, which are convincing. Then you come up with your own decision, so that you don't just agree for the sake of saying it's a unanimous decision. There is that room for disagreement. So there is the need to balance where maybe there is doubt in your mind whether your position is the correct one, you can give in. But when your competencies and experience makes you to conclude that your position is the correct one, you stand by your position.
Thank you very much, my Lord. Finally, you've just used the word trust, and this came up earlier in the context of the vision of the court. The need for the public, for Kenyans, to have faith and trust in the Supreme Court and indeed in the judiciary. Now, my Lord, in successive reports of Transparency International, the judiciary has been ranked as the most bribery-prone institution. Now, in that context, and with a view to enhancing the trust that the general public have in the Supreme Court, how would you, as a member of that court, seek to remedy that perception that the court is prone to bribery?
Thank you, Commissioner. The work of the judiciary, I don't think there will come a time when a survey will be done and Kenya say there is zero corruption in the judiciary. Why do I say that? It is because of the nature of the work. you deal with people's lives. The interests are so high, and the expectations from the public is also quite high. So, Transparency International, whatever they do, we cannot fault it. It is correct. Even the reports, we have had the Ringera reports, we have had the UCO reports, the aspect of corruption is also, we have had your report, we have had the aspect of corruption is there in the judiciary. So to be specific to the Supreme Court, I've not seen that report as given in relation to the Supreme Court what the percentages are. But if I were to be there, how to enhance the trust? First and foremost, to me, the moment a case delays, it raises suspicion. That is my main focus on this corruption. Because I don't think there is a case of a file not found in the Supreme Court. The delay in the Supreme Court is also not very much. But for me to enhance the trust is to ensure that we deliver justice as fast as possible. The Supreme Court is also meant to, one of the objectives is access to justice, to ensure that whatever justice is being cooked in the court is to some extent in line with people's expectation. I know we are the experts who will be interpreting the Constitution, but we don't have to interpret it in such a way that even a layman would say, surely, well, this judge is bribed, or this was the correct way. So it calls for enhancing our competencies, understanding the expectations of the wananchi, transparency within the determination of the cases, and giving good reasons for what we do, so that people can reduce. I would say reduce. You cannot eliminate perception of corruption, and we cannot say that so and so is corrupt. If you are called upon and go to testify, you can't. So some of those aspects of corruption, the only way to me I can deal with is to clear any case which comes within a given time frame, well reasoned. Here you are. The winner will be happy. The loser will say, I think the judges were corrupted, but we cannot eliminate that.
Thank you very much, my Lord, for answering those questions. That will be all from me, Honourable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Honourable Attorney General. Judge, did you say that there's no survey which will be done to show zero corruption?
I can bet to my last penny there will be no survey whereby you go to a court in Nakuru, zero corruption, you go to Kisumu, zero corruption, you come to the Court of Appeal, zero corruption, and we come here and say, JSC, hallelujah, there is zero corruption in the judiciary. It will never.
Okay. That's a bit sad, because I was hoping maybe even if it takes a few years, we could one day say that, but thank you, Judge. I now call upon Honourable Gishohi to ask his questions. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair. Judge, good morning again.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Now, I want us to focus on the role of a state officer. And I'm sure you are aware that as a judge of the Supreme Court, you are a state officer, and you are bound by Article 10 of the Constitution as the national values and principles of governance. National values and principles of governance that bind all state officers. Would you pick two of those principles and share with the Commission how you are going to promote them as a judge of the Supreme Court? Just two of those principles under Article 10 specifically. 2?
Okay, the first one will be to ensure that public interest prevails as opposed to your personal interest. So the position of a judge is one of trust, as Commissioner IG has said. When you are given this responsibility, your duty is to serve, not to serve the wananchi, not to enrich yourself because you are there.
Let's focus, Judge,
yes.
to Article 10 specifically.
Yes.
If you look at that article, those principles of governance are very, very clear. And I can give you an example. One of it is patriotism,
Yes.
national unity.
Yes.
Just share with us how you would promote those national values and principles as a state officer, as a judge of the Supreme Court.
Okay, because most of them now are enhanced in the Code of Conduct, they are enhanced in the Leadership and Integrity Act, but let us come to patriotism.
Patriotism, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So as a judge, you have to be patriotic. You sing the National Assembly, you saw allegiance to the Constitution and promise to do what you are supposed to do. That aspect of patriotism is paramount because you have now to know that Kenya comes first as a country and not you as an individual. You have to serve the wananchi. Kenya means the people of Kenya, what they expect of you. And the patriotism comes in many aspects. If I'm there and I'm not working, yet I've been told to serve the wananchi, am I patriotic? I am not. So it means I have to work hard and meet the expectations of the wananchi. Another aspect of patriotism comes in the work we do. If there is any dispute between Kenya and any other country, we have to be objective and see what are the interests of the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Let us reflect on that ruling you had for Lamu.
Yes.
About the curfew and all those other issues.
Yes.
What did you say about that, in that spirit of patriotism as per Article 10, without prejudice to whatever you say?
I understand you. You know, patriotism also means that you have also to respect the rights of the Kenyans. I was living in Malindi. People were traveling from Malindi to Lamu. If you reach in Peketone at 6, you are stopped. You have to sleep in the bus. There is no imminent danger. The danger had already been dealt with. So when it comes to patriotism, here it's true, the Minister for Internal Affairs has declared a curfew from 6 to 6. The law, it provides for a certain duration, so it has been enhanced. After the period expires, it is enhanced. There is no public participation to see you people, are you happy or what? They are complaining, every day they are complaining. So with patriotism, we feel that I am not going to be patriotic just to be with the government and say, you people, even if you are dying of hunger, just stay inside because we want to fight terrorism. No. Patriotism comes in. These Kenyans need to work and earn a living. So let you can have security even without the curfew, because you can put the security personnel in the streets.
Okay, that's enough. We go to something else. As you go to the Supreme Court, I'm sure there are committees that you might be heading or you might be a member, and there will be public finance that will be affiliated to you. In terms of Article 201 on management of public finance, there are 2 items there as you manage public finance. One is financial management shall be responsible with the physical reporting regularly. As a chair of one of those committees in the Supreme Court, what is your understanding of that statement under that Article 201? Financial management, responsible use of the money.
Thank you, Commissioner. If I'm to be a chair of a committee, maybe I don't know. I have not been there to know what committees are there. Maybe human resource or finance or any other committee. It entails the use of money. The money we utilize is from taxes of Kenyans. So as we use it, the record has to be there how it has been used, and a report has to be made each financial year. If per diems were paid, who was paid, and for what purpose. If somebody was sent out of the country and was given some imprest, how did he deal with that? If we are procuring, like maybe some judges need vehicles, it will go through the CRJ, but maybe the committee will deliberate. Do you just say, because I'm in the Supreme Court, I need a V8 instead of the ordinary car? So there should be that responsibility that you are not here to enrich yourself or to make yourself so comfortable to the expense of the taxpayers. And in other words, accountability. You have to account for the funds you have been given, and proper utilization of resources is a requirement.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Gishohi. It's now the turn for Commissioner Koskei to ask his questions. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Yes, I have two questions, and one is on Supreme Court and the advantage is that you are an insider in judiciary. So looking at Supreme Court as it is now, what new things do you think needs to be introduced so that it can serve this nation efficiently and effectively? People talk about issues of structure. Can it be expanded? Can it be transformed to approach its function in different ways? To you, as an incoming Supreme Court judge, what do you think are new things that needs to be introduced for it to serve this country better?
Thank you, Commissioner. In form of numbers, I think the numbers are sufficient because the law allows them to sit in a batch of 7. In form of competencies, I think the requirement is enough so that you are not told if you put it at 20 years, people will say you want to exclude others. What needs to be done? I think I can't say it's 100% perfect. Okay, I think this is just my view, how you think can be done. Okay, in my personal view, I think if a judge is appointed to the Supreme Court, a maximum of 15 years should be sufficient so that we can clear you. I know other jurisdiction you are judged for life in the Supreme Court, but I think we should be alive to the fact that if I'm there and I have a specific stand on something for 20 years, for 30 years, I'm there as a judge of the Supreme Court. I think we need to look into this aspect of being there for 25 years. A High Court judge, it's understandable, but I think we should come up with an idea of a maximum of 15 years. In any case, when you go there, you are 50 plus, 15 years will be 65, which means the minimum retirement, the voluntary retirement of a judge. So maybe JSC can look at that so that I'm not appointed at 54. I go there, I block others from coming. I'm just there. This election petition come, my policy is the same. No election petition should be allowed. I dismiss another. So you hear around 20 election petitions, and even those coming to you now fear that the same way people were fearing going to the Court of Appeal, will be the same issue, because a judge has sat there and we know his philosophy. At least there should be that change of ideas, change of personnel. I think that will be my view.
Any other? Or that is what comes over your head now?
Any other? Maybe we have been talking of individual judgments, because the work there is not much. Maybe when it comes into the same issue of a matter of public importance, we might want to know what is the view of each and every judge. Maybe we can come up with the rules. As long as the court says this is a matter of public importance, you can discuss, but let each and every one of you come with his own judgment. And we can zero it even to election petition that each one of you should write. You can conference and each one of you write his own or her own judgment, so that we can know the views of each and every judge.
Thank you, Judge. My second question is, you've heard this saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Now, let us talk about COVID-19 pandemic and judiciary. What challenges has this pandemic brought into judiciary operations, and what are the opportunities that as this pandemic availed to transform the way judiciary operates? Could you give us perhaps 2-3 challenges and also opportunities that you see this pandemic has availed to this country?
Starting with challenges, Commissioner, judiciary all along, it's an interpersonal aspect of decision making. A witness comes, he talks. As he talks, I can make an impression. Is he telling me the truth, or is to some extent lying, or is not so sure? So that aspect of open court has been affected. So that is one challenge. Another challenge is also judiciary does not operate on its own. There are other criminal justice sectors like the prison. I remember when I was in Marsabit, the head of prison gets instructions from Nairobi that no prisoner should go to court. So what do? This is a person who has been charged with murder, is at the police station. He cannot be taken to the prison because the prison is not admitting anybody for fear of spreading COVID in prison, for good reason. But now the police station cannot feed this person. He has been brought all the way from North Hall, which is over 300 kilometers from Marsabit. The relatives are not there. Who buys them food? So those are the challenges which COVID has brought in. Then this challenge also has generated into creating backlog. Cases are not being heard. Most of the judges are in their 50s. We are told whoever is 58 and above can work from home. We have people with pre-existing conditions. They cannot come because the fear of getting COVID, and it's real. Courts have been closed because staff have COVID, and for you not to spread it further, you close the court. Commissioner here has done good work because there is no alternative. You have to close the court. So those are the challenges which COVID-19 has brought. And what has been the avenue, we have seen an opportunity to improve our connectivity and internet connectivity, and the use of technology has really come in handy. There is the challenge of finances because we were not prepared. The system had to be upgraded. It's a challenge also, although it's an opportunity, but it's a challenge. If you log in at Milimani at 9 and all the judges are using the system, there'll be ups and downs. Sometimes you can't hear the other person on the other end, but it has served. So far it has served. In my view, it's an opportunity also to hear matters which do not need physical attendance, like appeals. An appeal is filed, the record of appeal is filed, you are not taking any new evidence. You can hear these appeals online, especially those ones where there are advocates involved. At Milimani,